Hi guys, welcome back to the Lee Tree. So today's homesteading video is probably not going to be too long, and I just kind of want to talk about a homesteading thing, not actually doing anything today. So this is going to be part one in a series of videos, which will probably end up on my home life playlist, not my homesteading playlist. But so the idea of homesteading is that you are trying to be as self-sufficient as possible, growing your own food, raising your own food, making your own things, all that kind of stuff. So a big part of that is being able to have your own produce all year, which means that a lot of things you need to save when you have a lot in the summer so that you have things to eat during the winter. And that's a lot easier said than done. And one thing, I forget where it was, I think I was watching the Elliott Homestead, which if you've never watched them, go watch them because they're really good. But she was talking about preserving food, but making sure that you preserve it in a way that you'll actually eat it, which is something I'm still really, really working on because, like I said, a lot easier said than done. So most common ways of preserving are pickling, fermenting, canning, dehydrating. So if you're pickling, it makes it last longer, but it doesn't have a whole lot of extra nutritional value necessarily. Fermenting gives it a lot more nutritional value, but obviously there's the taste factor. Some people don't really like that a whole lot. Then there's pressure canning, which all your food is basically staying very much the same. It's not changing the flavor so much. It's just cooked and heated so that it's sealed in, just like the canned food that you buy at the store. But the problem with that is you have to make sure you do it properly. You don't want anything exploding or things not being heated enough and then going bad, all that stuff. And then there's also dehydration, which last year I dehydrated a bunch of herbs and stuff for for teas and things, and I ended up just using my microwave because it was simple and it was easy. Well, I guess those are the same thing. Anyway, it was simple and easy, and I didn't need an extra machine to help me dehydrate stuff. I couldn't necessarily dehydrate larger things like fruit or different kinds of vegetables, but it worked fine for leaves and flowers and herbs. So I did that, and I had considered buying a dehydrator. And I thought, well, I don't really have that much extra room in my kitchen anyway, and I'd want to spend a reasonable amount of money, but I would want an actual good dehydrator, which those two combined probably isn't really going to happen. And I just kind of stopped thinking about it for a while, and then I saw stuff about solar dehydrators. And if you've been watching since last summer, you may know that our front yard is super sunny. It's south facing, there's no trees anywhere. It gets baked during the summer. The backyard's also fairly sunny and hot. So I thought, well, a solar dehydrator would be very efficient in our property, and it would be inexpensive, and I could probably build it from scraps by myself, so it would basically be free, or almost free, and I don't have to find a place to keep it inside because it'll be an outdoor thing. And I thought, well, that would be pretty cool. Maybe someday I'll do one of those. Well, what was I dehydrating? I guess I was dehydrating some basil about a month or two ago in the microwave. And, well, apparently if your vegetables any vegetables, have large amounts of minerals in them or iron in them, the particles can act like metal does in your microwave, causing sparks, which if you're cooking vegetables in a glass container, you probably won't even notice. You might notice, but you probably won't notice, and it won't be a big deal. But if you're dehydrating them on paper towels or paper plates or in bamboo baskets, you're gonna catch your microwave on fire, which is what I did. No, I didn't actually burn the microwave, but I burnt the stuff in the microwave. Fortunately, I was paying attention, and I quickly pulled it out and threw it out the door and let it burn in the yard. Point is, I will not be microwaving vegetables on paper again for any reason. So I decided that now is a good time to go ahead and build one of those. So I talked to my dad, because I have some like wood and, you know, stuff around, but not a whole lot. And I know he used to have a bunch of tinted plexiglass. So I was asking him if he has any of that left, and he said he does. And he has a bunch of wood left over because they built a shed. So he has a bunch of wood also and other things. And I pulled some wheels off of an old grill, so it's easier to move around. And in upcoming weeks, I am going to be building a solar dehydrator where I can dehydrate things like beans and fruit, tomatoes, herbs, kale, you know, kale chips, whatever, flowers, all kinds of stuff. So that's the plan. Anyway, we'll see how it actually works out. Hopefully it'll work out. When I'm done, it should look something like this. I'll stick a picture in there. Or maybe this. Or something kind of like this. So those are some ideas of styles or whatever. There's, you can go on, I think it's probably on Mother Earth News, but like there are plans where you can follow, like if you don't feel confident in just making one, you can follow like step by step, buy this size piece of wood and cut it to this size, and you know, they give you full sets of instructions on how to make solar dehydrators. And the idea behind them is that you create a path for the air to go up, and you make the back of it black and the top of it covered with plexiglass so that the sun can shine through the glass and heat the black, and the hot air can't escape because of the plexiglass, and then it travels up the tube into the dehydrator, which is almost like a little shed, and it can be different sizes depending on how much stuff you want to do. So it travels into the bottom of this shed kind of thing, which has a door on one side so you can put racks in, and then it rises up through there and goes out like a little chimney in the top, or a vent, whatever. It's not really a chimney because it's not smoke, but that's the basic idea, so that that heated air is constantly rising through that space and kind of like a oven, and dehydrates your food. So that ought to be fun. And once I get video number 2, I will link it in the description of this video, but it'll probably be mid-March when I get to that, because mid to late March, because I've got some stuff going on beginning of March, so around there some point, and I'll let you know. And I'll link it in this one, but it will probably, the full series will be in my home life playlist, because it's more of a building project. Using it will go in the homesteading area, but that's more of a building project, so that's where I'm going to stick that. So that's all for this week. Just under 10 minutes. Great. And everybody's sleeping, so I won't have any outtakes from this video. I will just drink my tea and relax and have a really tiny break before everybody wakes up. See y'all.